social media can confirm or deny what we feel inside.
Well, I'd say most of the time denies.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, confirms. Sorry, most of the time confirms what we feel inside. It denies you the opportunity to change trees.
Right, exactly. Do you find yourself overwhelmed with the images you're seeing throughout your day? Do you find that you maybe turn to your phone and social media a bit more than you're comfortable with, or maybe you don't even realize how much time you spend on it until you get that notification that you've been on social media or your phone for 10, 12, 15 hours a week? Well, so welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to stop the scroll and the dissociation of social media, as well as look at how we can clean it up this spring. So if you're ready, listen up and lean in as we elevate your mind.
Like I said, I'm glad we're talking about this today because I had this comparison social media this past weekend.
Love.
Yeah.
For those of you new to this podcast, we're going to banter for 10, 15 minutes about our lives, puppies, babies, and whatever else we want to talk about. So if you are not interested in that, please check out the show notes to skip to the subject at hand.
Yeah.
I'm on 3 weeks, no booze. Yay! It's super easy. I also find myself not very social. So there's that. I'm going to tell you guys something. Stop drinking, see who your friends are.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Listen, well, I realized that if I'm getting drinks, I'm the one reaching out to people.
Mm-hmm.
I will say my friends go to church on Sundays, and it's Elena, Janelle, and Jordan. Anyways, they go to church, and I said, can I go to church with you guys? But then one of them bailed, and the church service was 10:30 a.m. And I'm like, that's like middle of my day.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. And so they went at 8:30, and I did it from the computer.
Oh,
it was good. It was about
what'd you learn?
When you're looking to you need to take on a new path in your life, that you can't be stuck in the path that you're on, and that it takes you have to take the steps basically. But it was talking about how I've believed that you don't get what you can't handle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you get what God or your higher power can handle. It's not up to you handling it. So it was saying you might feel like it's the worst thing ever and it's so overwhelming, but you're not getting anything that your higher power can't handle with you. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting because everything I'm going through, I was like, oh, apparently this is what I can handle. But it's yes, and you need to lean on this higher part of you. And I think that's true because when I don't, I feel alone, right? And unsupported. When I know in my spiritual practice, when I lean on my spirituality, I don't feel alone and I feel very supported. Mm-hmm. So it just kind of reminded me of that. I feel like church is a lot of just reminders in life. Sometimes for some people who haven't gone through a spiritual practice, it's learning that. But yeah, so not drinking, going to church, just look at me. Look at me.
Yeah.
So I had such a mental health reset weekend.
I know.
And it was great.
Yeah. Do you feel revived?
I do, other than my fogginess in my brain.
Yeah.
We were just joking about this because we interviewed our girl, Megan Hardy, and my brain, I have a glitch. I have to speak of that. I have a glitch in my system.
Yeah.
And
your simulators aren't working.
Yes. And it's frustrating because it's my brain.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm known for.
What if it's a sign of dementia?
It probably is.
Or Alzheimer's.
It probably is. If that's what that feels like, put a gun to my head.
I bet you that is.
Yeah. It's good. It's just, ugh.
I know. It's scary.
I'm supposed to get that MRI that goes through your brain, and it goes in your brain, your whole body. It tells you all the things that are wrong with you. Yeah. So I would like to do that. So Okay. So
Mine is just social media, which we're talking
is
about.
on social media too.
No.
But
really?
Yeah. But this is something that I highly suggest.
Okay.
Maybe not highly, but listen and figure it out.
Okay.
So I'm watching Spooky Scary Storytime. This girl, Ashley Inc., I believe her name is. She gets stories from people. Then there's spooky, scary stories. But there's different types of scary stories. So you have like people going to cults, vampires, like ghosts, whatever. This particular one has been this whole thing on a glitch in the Matrix. And it's a story about this woman, Maria, who her siblings.
Who was I with that they were talking about this? Did you see the Maria? Oh, I think it was on our call. Okay, never mind. It was you guys. On our call on Thursday, you and Ira were talking about this.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, wait, I was just in a conversation about this, but it's you guys.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, yeah, glitch in the Matrix. And so her and her siblings are driving back from, I think, Georgia to Florida. They have to pee really bad.
Georgia-Florida line?
Yes.
That's
It's a band.
Oh, okay.
It's no longer. They've split up. And so she's like, I got to pee really bad, really bad. So they get off. They don't even see like the sign that says like gas station. And they just drive till they can find a gas station. I know the feeling where you're like, oh, I can't turn around now because if I turn around, I know they're not back there. So there's got to be a gas station coming up. And finally they see one. She runs in the bathroom, pees, comes out. And her siblings are kind of just looking kind of weird. And they go inside the gas station and a man's standing there, but he is just staring at them. It doesn't even look like he's breathing. And like, it freaks them out, but they're like, let's look at the snacks. But the snacks in the gas station aren't normal snacks. They're like old timey snacks and they're kind of dusty. So like, let's get out of here. So they get in the car because they're all creeped out and they speed off, start driving back towards the highway. She's like, I know I was going in the same direction. I've done this trip multiple times, but the highway's not coming. And then suddenly they see lights for a gas station. It's the same gas station on the same side of the road. So she's like, wait a minute. Logically, this can't be true because I must have like missed, I did a U-turn or like a circle of some sort in the road. So she's like, just keep going. Logically, but she saw that where she peeled out, like that was still, the lines were still there. So they drive more. They're like, where the fuck is this highway? It was only about 10 minutes off the road. Like we should be hitting it. They see another gas station. This time, gas station's boarded up, out of business, same gas station. Mm-hmm. They can see the wheels, the spin out. And they're like, what the fuck? Oh, I missed one part of this. When they were at the gas station the first time, there was no sounds. There was no birds, crickets, frogs, like at night. Mm-hmm. Nothing. No sound. When she went the third time, she rolled down the window and the sound was back. Okay. They drive the same direction. They've driven now twice. Hit the highway in 5 minutes. So she's telling this story on Spooky Scary Stories. This is where it gets even better. A man then sends her an email and says, I think I know who the man was at the gas station because he was there the first time. He was there the second time, but he wasn't there the third time when they hit the gas station. My father used to work at that gas station and my father used to have addiction issues. So he would come home from the gas station and say that he saw time travelers in 1982, that time travelers came to his gas station and we thought he had relapsed on drugs and alcohol. When what I'm hearing is in 2014, these kids went to that gas station, saw the old man. And then what I heard in 1982 was that old man who was my father saw those kids. So now your face. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to keep up with it. His name is John Doe. He's like, I'm a professional. I don't want my name put on this because people are, I'm crazy. Is trying to find photos of his father so that Maria can look at them to see if the same man was standing at that gas station in 2014 when he had previously worked there in 1982. So then all of these people start writing in about this gas station and the same like glitch in the Matrix experience of this kind of time travel thing from this gas station. It's nuts.
What? I don't have any. I'm so, like, because I'm trying to, like, conceptualize this.
Can't.
I know. How do we know Maria's not lying?
Because her siblings can back it.
How did we know that they're not making something up?
Well, if they were making it up, why would she have, I think, like 50 to 100 people backing up that story of that gas station who don't know Maria?
Yeah.
Why? What?
I just, okay.
It's hard to conceptualize because you have to think outside of the box. Because multiple people have said they've gone to that gas station, and then when they went back to the way they went,
How did these people hear Maria's story?
on TikTok.
On
So Ashley Inc. has a link to send in your spooky scary story.
And so then the other people send in their spooky, scary stories to confirm Maria.
So then, so Ashley did the TikTok. They got a ton of views. And then people started writing in, like, hey. So then she has a YouTube. So there's 2-part series on YouTube solely on this. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
You send it, and then we'll talk about it next time.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, it reminded me of your life regression.
Yeah. Well, I'm not opposed to that this happened at all.
Oh,
Because I think, no. Because I used to firmly believe that every time you go to the airport is when your simulator just wants a break. Like, think about it. Like, your airport, like, you go to the airport, it's pretty straightforward. You got to go through security. That's when they, like, clock out. And you just wander around. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. Like, and everything's right there.
I've never watched The Matrix.
I mean, it sucks.
Oh, okay. But
I'm not a good review person.
so when you're saying simulator,
So, like, there's a theory that we are in a simulation. Like, we are not controlling ourselves, that they're, like, kind of like almost like a computer, like the CS game or like Oregon Trail, right? And that we are,
or like the Jim Carrey movie.
Yes. What was that called? I watched that once. Truman Show.
Yes.
And
I always think of it as Truman.
yes. So it's like, but it's simple.
Am I?
No. When you give us a sign. So, but I always thought, and now, mind you, I had probably taken like 2 gummies by the point I had gotten for airport security.
So yeah.
So, take that with a grain of salt. But I always thought, like, man, because you can't really, like, nothing wild can happen. Like, you can't really, like, do anything. Like, you can't bring any paraphernalia, or allegedly, or like any weapons or anything, right? So everything's allegedly safe. And it's like your program, all you have to do is get on a plane. That plane carries you. So now your simulator person is sleeping. Now you get off the plane. They've got to get back in, clock back in, and then kind of dictate your life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll see.
See?
You guys are like, what did I listen to? Well, I want to know what you guys think about all of that. Also, I will link the spooky scary story time.
Well, I mean, there is a thing to like the multiple worlds thing, and like there's a multiple worlds theory, and that was one of the things that really got me through my exercise addiction and like having like not being able to work out was looking into what's it called, physics. But it's the hard physics. What's the physics? It's Sean Carroll. He's the guy who talks about
what you're talking
about.
Not astro.
No, it's like with entropy and multiple worlds theory in the cat in the box Schrodinger's. It's because there's the theory of
quantum physics.
Yeah, it's quantum physics.
Jesus, that's like I got that.
I'll never recall that. But I mean, so yeah, I was really into quantum physics for a little bit there, and so Sean Carroll has this really great book, and he's a quantum physicist. And so there's Schrodinger's
The secret is facing quantum.
Oh, is it really? Well, I mean, that makes sense. So,
to an extent.
Do you know about the cat theory?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the cat? So there's a cat in a box, right? And the thought
is a cat in a box.
What?
Why is it in a box?
It's just like a kind of like a mind thing. Like, okay. So you have a cat in the box. You can open the box and the cat might be alive. You can close, or you can open the box and the cat might be dead. Both can be true. Mm-hmm. And so if both can be true, then those worlds technically exist too. And you don't know until you open the box which world you're in. Mm. So it's called Schrodinger's theory, I think, or something like that, or Schrodinger's cat. And it's a big thing of like these. So everything
I heard about this.
Everything can be true until you experience that true. But in another world, in your alternate world, that also did happen too.
Mhm.
And so there's all these multiple, it's called the multiple worlds theory too, or multiple universes.
Well, this goes back to my like manifesting. Like I'm making something true. I'm living in the world of lack.
Yeah.
Or whatever that universe is. Whereas I've lived in the shows of abundance. I've lived there too.
Yes. Interesting. And so, and then, because one thing, like,
and I believe in God, so throw that in there.
Well, I don't, so put that in there. So, like, even like with Michael and I have one of our many breakups. One of my things was like, that helped me get through it. And I think a lot of people might, if they can kind of wrap their mind around this, it might help them. Is in another world, our relationship worked out. And so I thought, like, that's so great that that person gets to live the life that works out with him. Whereas this is the life that I'm in now. And so I need to make the best of it.
Because then you started believing that, guess what happened?
I know. And then I started manifesting, and then he emailed me, and then we went to Christina, and now here we are.
The end. How was sweetie? I was just thinking something else. Oh, my sobriety.
Yeah.
I didn't think that world existed.
For you to be sober?
Mm-hmm.
Like recently, or like 10 years ago, you didn't think you would ever be sober?
Probably like 2 months ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, because I never felt that. I thought, I was like, oh, she could do that.
Yeah. I mean, no, it was more, it's not the alcohol. The alcohol means
it's the
nothing.
social.
It's the social.
It's the social.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't even like you people. I'm just going to stay home.
Well, and that's what it's, once you realize like the social part of it, you're like, oh, this is okay. Interesting. Like I am just texting people to go out because they drink too.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And like, we don't, like, conversation's kind of stagnant until we start drinking. So then what are we really doing?
Correct.
Yes.
Well, speaking of what we're really doing, I hope you guys really liked that. If you want more of our conspiracy theories, please write in. I'm into this shit. I'm into it. I mean, if you think about, okay,
you should look up the Mandela effect. Didn't you?
I did.
Okay. The Bernstein Bears and all that.
She talked about Mandela effect.
Did she?
And Spooky Scary Storytime. And Mark's like, wait, so they're just names that are spelled wrong? Oh, we thought they were spelled in a different way. I was like, no. There's no Mark. Two Mark. Yeah. I go, did you know in Home Alone where Macaulay Culkin is hiding in the nativity scene in the church?
Mm-hmm.
He goes, he's in the church. Do you want to go in there? And everyone says that Marv says, no, those places always gave me the creeps. Jeez. But he doesn't say that, but everyone says that he says that or something like that. Yeah. So this is crazy that you're saying this because I just read about that this week from Ashley Inc. Shout out to her. Ashley, we love you. Suggestion. You got to start a podcast. Suggestion. You
have me on the podcast.
You have a podcast. You need a microphone.
Oh,
because I think she's taking her TikToks and putting them on the podcast. So I was trying to listen to them with Mark in the car and he's like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
He's like, nah.
Well, yeah,
his sensory. Yeah. So
I get it.
Anyway, social media. Let's talk about another universe that has created a whole new life of
imposter
syndrome, comparison. Yes. You know, social media, we've had this conversation before, and I think that it's good now that it's spring. We have to go back. If we have to remind you guys every spring to clean out your fucking social media, we will do that for you. But let's talk about your experience.
What's happening? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know if it was because of this weekend or what. So lately on my social media, I've been a dud. I was like, honestly, since I started posting very consistently every week, but like I had to let something go recently, meaning like I have so many things to do now. And like we all have so many things to do. I understand that, but like I cannot be on social media and being mindful with my kid. I cannot be on social media and trying to like chat with Michael. I cannot be like trying to constantly keep up. And I have a bunch of stuff made on Canva, like that I could just easily post, but like that takes time. Right. And so about like 2-3 weeks ago, I was like, I can't keep up, and that's okay. Like I have my social media as a presence. Like I'm on it. I'm active. If someone follows me, I message them or I make sure to like kind of interact a little bit, but I just cannot consistently post anymore, or for right now, we'll say. And it was like, okay, like that's kind of free, right? Because I've added on a task of taking care of a child, and now I'm giving up a task of taking care of something that like trying to curate something, right? And it was also like with the docuseries. So that I did a video on that of like talking about like, you know, nothing like my training now is based on me individually. And this is like, I've gotten y'all to who have followed like the training program. Like I've gotten you all to this point, but at this point, it really needs to be based on the individual. So I'm not going to take you through my workouts. Like, I honestly don't have the time to record the videos anymore, too.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about like nutrition, I'm just hanging out. Like, I'm just being consistent. And so I don't have anything to continually add because I'm focusing on that. I'm not going to make videos of me being like consistent day, week 8, you know?
Right.
And so I thought like, okay, so those things, like they've come to where they're supposed to be. That's great. But then you start going on them and I'm seeing like people, like trainers post like consistently. And I'm like, oh, fuck, like starting to come, like, I should be doing that. I should be doing this. I should be like, surely I could find the time. What if I do it like at 7 o'clock when I'm in bed and the baby's asleep? And so it started getting like really like, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, I'm not making progress anymore. I'm not doing enough anymore, like for myself and like promoting myself anymore. And that's going to reflect like on the back end. Right.
Right.
And so that's where I was like, oh, I'm glad we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Because none of that is true. Right.
Well, it's true in all universe.
Yeah. It's true. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it will become true. Right.
Right.
So
I have 2 theories about that. So I want to kind of talk about the posting part of it, especially for those coaches listening or anyone who's starting, their business. Mm-hmm. If I was to tell you that at the 16th post, you're going to go viral and have tens of millions of followers, you probably sit down and post as quickly as you possibly can to hit that 16th post, right? So there's that side of it. But also, like, your posts now, right, what you've already put on internet, any day, at any time, any week, something you already have there could go viral, right? There's no rhyme or reason, right? I can do the 16 posts, and that 16th could be it.
Yeah.
I could have already had the post,
yeah,
and that be it, right? So I want you to remember that, too. Like, also, with the people who are posting, what does their lives look like?
Right.
Right. Did they have a nanny? Right. Or is their kiddo in daycare so that they can post on social media? Right. What is that going to do with their relationship with their child?
Right.
What you're choosing right now is what is best for you.
Yeah.
Social media, yes, for business, it is helpful. You have to go viral for it to be lucrative.
Yes.
And even then, I see people who have 60,000 followers, but I see people buying their followers.
Yeah.
Because their likes and their engagement don't match. My cousin taught me that. My cousin does social media marketing. She's like head of marketing for Day, a hair care. And I hope that's the right title. I think it is. She taught me that, like, if their engagement doesn't match their followers, they bought those followers, right?
Really?
Oh, yeah. So you see, like, someone has 60,000 followers with 3 likes. Yeah. Which is interesting because on TikTok recently, my views have been up high.
Yeah.
But my likes have been low, but all my shit's organic.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like,
well, and that's what I have to, that's one of the things I tell myself is the followers that I have, they have been organic. Like, I haven't bought anything. I haven't like done anything. I haven't been like, hey, help me reach 1,000 people and, get a free t-shirt or whatever, like everybody that has followed me has clicked follow. And if it unfollow, usually it's like the people trying to do that, the fires. So that's, I have to remember that too.
Yeah, no. And when you're looking at social media, whether you are a creator yourself or, you're using it to bypass time, like, we have to remember that what we see is not reality.
Right.
It is not. It even in reality TV, that's not reality. Like, this is a highlight reel of that person making it look easy. And, for me, it's been such a challenge because I've done this whole series, how traditional coaching has failed you.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to educate people on what we do and how it's different.
Be the authority.
Correct. But it's 300 views, 300 views, 300 views, right? Now, for me, I've been able to reframe that. Like, 300 people saw that today.
Yes.
Right? 300 people saw that today who were supposed to see it. It's one of my affirmations that I do in the morning. Like, my content will get in front of the right person at the right time. And it's just an affirmation that I have for myself. So I've had to reframe that because you guys heard me talk about my struggles with the content and seeing people who are very disordered whose body is their calling card or their business card get all the attention. The progress photos get all the attention. We were just talking about a creator who claims to be a support for women's hormones, but then also is training women to be in competition.
Right.
And it's like, that's not consistent. That's inconsistent. It's almost hypocritical, right? So we've got to look at social media like this is not reality.
Right.
This is a TV show. So let's talk about that. This is even in our notes. We're just riffing. I have a weird thing, you guys, maybe you do too, where I have a hard time seeing people suffer. Even like humiliation. It really bothers me to see people be embarrassed or humiliated. So watching something like ridiculousness or
I don't like that.
It gives me the cringe.
Yeah.
I don't feel good about it. Yeah. So I don't watch it.
Like you're watching people make fun of people.
Right.
And I don't want to watch people make fun of people.
Right. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I don't watch it. But if I go on social media and something makes me feel a cringe or bad or compare, I still follow them.
Yeah.
Why does one have a boundary and the other doesn't? And so that's really, whenever we're talking about social media, you have to think about how does this make me feel?
Yeah.
You know? And for me as a creator, you know, Lenka's always like, you need to be you. Like, it doesn't sound like you. It doesn't sound like you. I go, well, because sometimes sounding like me is not going to make people feel good.
Yeah.
Because they don't know me. Right. Whereas my clients know me and I can be real with them. Like, you know, I want people to feel good when they're watching and learning. I want to educate you more than anything. I don't, you know, and at the end of the day, the views, the likes, the engagement, like, did you learn something from it? Great. You know, but, again, why does one get to be true when you watch that show or whatever it is and you turn it off, whereas the other isn't?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I was thinking like there's almost like, I feel like humans sometimes are glutton for punishment, you know, or self like indulgence of their shame and their guilt. Because I'm thinking like similar to the person who, let's say they're working on their nutrition, they have an off weekend, they had the licks, bites, and tastes, they didn't log it, they feel bad, they didn't take care of their emotional health, and they keep going back to that cycle, right? Or they keep feeling that guilt and shame of that. And I'm thinking, well, it's the same thing for social media. Like, it's like, I heard a quote, what was it? A woman's mind is her worst lashing, meaning like your own mind is your worst person. And I think like we go back on social media because it's been known to pass time now, right? Instead of just being bored or sitting there. But now it's something to do. And so then I re-see it and then it reaffirms like, see, I am actually like not posting enough. See, I should be able to figure this out. Or I don't look a certain way, or I should be further along. Like it's a way to measure where you are in life. But what you're measuring against, like you said, and it's ironic that you said this because last week I was telling a client, I was like, look, it's like the person, you know, you think because she was comparing her body to other people. And I said, do you know what they're doing? Like, how intimate are you with these people? She's like, oh, I'm kind of intimate. I'm like, is it like, you know, that they should get divorced, but they're not? Or is it like, you have no idea and you want their social media vacation, but you don't know they're on the brink of divorce?
Right.
And she's like, it's kind of the latter. Like, okay. And so it's similar to me of like, I don't know these people. I don't need to follow it. But like that high or that dopamine hit that you get from like self-mutilation.
Right.
Essentially.
No, it is. And I think when we talked about chaos, right? If in our lives, our brain has been used to that feeling of not good enoughness or less thanness, it's going to crave that.
When it's going to find it's going to find its way in other ways.
It's going to convert.
So like, yeah, I don't like right now for me, for example, not good enoughness, needing to like affirm my values. Okay. So that was exercise. Okay. So then it became neutral. Okay. But then it became personal training, like trying to like hustle that. Okay. So then it became neutral and now it's going into social media and what I'm not doing.
Right. Right. Well, and you can see, so what is the core issue? What is all of those things trying to provide or avoid for you?
That I'm not doing enough.
And if I'm not doing enough, what does that mean about me as a person?
Then I'm not working hard enough for people to see that.
And what does that mean about you if people see you not working hard enough?
That my biggest fear, like that it's like I just did the training for fun instead of like for a real thing that I've invested in.
And why is that so wrong?
Because I've invested in it. It's just a different phase of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to be flexible with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube, today's giveaway, yes, we're starting this, is the Self Mastery Method, which is a self-led program on my mindset method. All you have to do is comment below on this podcast, and we are going to randomly select the winner, and you will get access to that program for 4 months and be able to work through the entire method and join along with all that we do. Now, back to the show. What I didn't hear you say is the biggest fear. What is exile? What is in your dungeon that, this comparison is trying to like keep you from experiencing?
That I'm not going to experience success anymore with it.
So I'm a failure.
I'm a failure.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah. And starts with the F.
Isn't starts
with the F. Yeah.
We hear it a lot.
Since with you're
really trying to get around it, but I hear it.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Just say the failure. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the part
that I'm trying to avoid.
Well, that's the part you need to deal with.
Yeah.
Is what is failure? We just had this conversation on our group coaching call. What is failure? Failure is not doing anything.
Right.
Right? Ever. Right? Failure is not taking the chance. Failure, there's no such thing as failure. And Kelly had said, Albert Einstein, I believe it wasn't failure. It's 1,000 ways not to do it. Like, what is it? 1,000 ways, like, how to not do it. That's what it is. But in your mind, you've put so much emphasis on, these specific things. Well, if I look like that person, or I'm creating as much as that person, or if I exercise like that person, or I exercise this amount, or whatever it is, then I'm good. I've passed.
Uh-huh.
And that's the thing you've got to work on, so that doesn't become a continual kind of, you're not monkey branching to different types of ways to feel like you've passed.
Got it.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So
to put that in like a client context.
Well, I think it's, if I've put my worth and I've changed my perceptions, my feelings, my emotions to validate being seen good by others, right? Meaning the way I perceive myself, the way I feel about myself, the things I do in my life are all in accordance with, I'm only as good as how I am seen by others.
Uh-huh.
So
therefore I put on social media, likes,
right?
Comments.
So I put on social media, and whatever I get back will validate or invalidate.
Uh-huh.
And if I'm not being validated, then I'm experiencing my biggest fear of not good enoughness, failure, whatever that is. So with a client, they're going on social media and they are already looking for the validation. Then they're following people who might be on social media, the version of themselves that they think they need to be, or they say, well, if I looked like her, then I would get all the validation, or, oh, she's trying to estimate
like her, then maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. So then it's, again, like you said, there's this, I'm looking for the validation because really my core wound is not feeling good enough.
Uh-huh.
Because that's my core wound, then I'm also going to compare it to others who I think are getting more validation than me, because maybe they have more likes or whatever. So then that's going to trigger my core wound, right? So now I'm going to feel poorly because I'm going to start feeling that not good enoughness. So then I'm going to either, make these extreme changes, or I'm going to maybe hire that girl.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
To do her diet. I've done that. To do her diet. And maybe I could be like her. But all I'm doing there is feeding the external validation machine.
Yeah.
That ultimately is keeping me feel like stuck. Is keeping me
on Maria's highway.
Correct. In the matrix.
Yeah.
It is. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
You're trying to feel good enough, but you keep taking that same route.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is coming back to that old gas station.
Like going back to even another analogy is you're talking about going from monkey branch to monkey branch. You're in the going from monkey branch to monkey branch, but you're still in the same jungle.
Or the same tree.
Yeah. So, tree. Yeah.
You're just going around that same tree. And so what we have to realize is, you know, social media can confirm or deny what we feel inside.
Well, I'd say most of the time denies.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, confirms. Sorry. Most of the time confirms what we feel inside. It denies you the opportunity to change trees.
Right. Exactly. It's a, you know, especially with confirmation bias in our mind or reticular activation system in our brain.
Mm-hmm.
So reticular activation system is when we have so much data coming in that we have to have a machine, if you will, in our mind that says, okay, let's just focus on the familiar. And the familiar is, I'm not good enough. I need to look better. I'm fat, or other people can lose weight. I can't. So that's familiar. So then I go on social media and the algorithm literally knows what you look at longer.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at that girl who is the opposite of those 4 things, the algorithm's going to notice that you looked at that longer. The algorithm literally is going to change what it sees. It will confirm what you looked at solely because you looked at it longer, solely because your brain said, oh, well, that's not you. You need to focus on that because we need to become that in order to be good enough. So we were going to talk about a bunch of other stuff today in regards to this, but I think the conversation we're ending up having is a deeper rooted, just cleaning out your social media. It's like almost like a toxic ex you just keep coming back to, right?
Maybe I've changed.
Right. I've changed, or
maybe this really
I would say it's even more than that. How many times have you been doing something, you just pick up your fucking phone and go,
yeah.
Like, it's like a drug.
You know what I ended up doing is telling myself.
Except for TikTok.
Is
Boogie Scary Stories.
I ended up doing the same thing. So change drug, right? Of looking in the mirror, picking apart my body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm looking at my phone and I'm going, this isn't helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using my same phrase that I used when I would go in the mirror, look, pick, poke. And then I'm going, this isn't helpful.
Right.
Like, what am I doing? You know, because if I'm going to stare at the phone and feel guilty for like not posting or keeping up, then it's like, then do that.
Right.
You're just still on your phone.
You know, it's funny. Megan has a post and it's like things not to do if you're short on workouts. And so in the post, she's like dancing, like things not to do if you're short on workouts. And then the next clip is the camera from behind of her doing the post.
Oh, like, it was like, if you need to get the workout in, stop doing that.
Yeah. And it's kind of like what you're talking about too, is like, you know, if that's what I need to do, I need to get off the social media and do it. And that's exactly where I'm at with this. It's like, I take my time with TikTok because it's like entertaining. And like, I love the little spooky, scary stories. The other things I've been watching are like the homecomings, like stuff that makes me happy. Right. You would never guess that I'm in the health and fitness industry if you looked at my TikTok algorithm, because I've made it what it is. I've kind of moved away from the Karens because I realized I probably shouldn't be watching that.
The Karens?
Karen's getting arrested. Hilarious.
Okay.
Like, you know, like a Karen.
Yeah.
A woman who thinks she's entitled. She's like, I know the attorney.
I said the U.S. Attorney General.
I was like, hey, well, you still are resisting arrest, ma'am, so you're getting arrested. So what was I saying?
You meant the way you created your algorithm.
Oh, yeah. So for me, it's like, okay, instead of going on TikTok, I'm going to make TikToks, right? So that I can help the business. Because if I'm going on TikTok, comparing myself, I'm going to get stuck in the trap. I'm going to be there for an hour and feel bad about myself. Whereas if I can create 1 or 2 TikToks that put my message out there, let people hear my voice, 10 people see it, that's much more effective and I'm being more efficient with my time, and I'm walking towards my goal rather than, I guess, walking away from it, you know? And if you're, and I don't want to, for a client, you might be like, well, I'm going on to be inspired and motivated by people. And it's like, well, is that working? No, it's not working. It's making you feel worse. So instead of going on TikTok or Instagram to be inspired, what else might inspire you?
Yeah.
Go hang out with your kids. Go play with them. Go throw the ball with your dog. Maybe you're a little bit winded.
For a walk.
Go for a walk. Maybe it was harder this time and you're like, okay, I'm inspired because I don't want it to be hard. Or whatever. Go find your inspiration somewhere else. Because I'm going to tell you right now,
your inspiration is going to come from you. So that's something we always talk about too, is like, they want to be inspired like by, like, remember we had that one Q&A of like, she'd like to be like shamed into doing her workout. And I was like, well, but how is that working for you? Because if you like to be shamed into your workout, you'd be working out every day because you'd be shaming yourself.
Yeah.
You know? Right. And it's one of those things of like, if you are wanting to be inspired, that's going to, like, everything that we talk about is going to come from that internal validation. And it's something to think about. Like, if you're seeking that external validation, external inspiration, external motivation, like, those things are going to go away. Your algorithm, and that's not, Miss Preachy about this when I was like Miss Sad Case about this, that your algorithm is going to go to more towards like more shame, more do this to do better, more hit it harder, more eat less and eat less.
Because it's out there.
And so it's going to, and it's interesting because now even one of my old clients, she sent me this video and she's like, what is with everybody only having 2 meals a day? That's like, and I'm like, I said it starts with 2 meals a day and then becomes like quote unquote fasting because fasting's healthy. And then it becomes longer fasted windows. And then it just becomes starting. Yeah. And like, I'm like, that's the trickle effect. Right. And I said, but what they don't understand, again, educational, it's a caloric deficit. They lost weight. Now their metabolism has adapted to what they're feeding it, blah, blah, blah. No. So it's interesting now we're having this conversation because it's like, yeah, how for me am I going to get external validation from looking at what other people are doing? Like, what is that validating for me? And it's not.
It's validating
the insecurity.
Yeah. Right. What you just said is so important because yes, external validation is nice at times, as long as it's not our only way of esteeming ourselves. Saying I love you, saying you look nice today, or wow, that was really helpful, whatever. We live with some words of affirmation. And social media is not that. No one's telling you, well, there's a very few creators telling you, girl, you're doing your best. You know what? You got up. You did the walk today. Congratulations. They're not telling you that. They're like, you did your fucking worst. Look at me. I'm skinny. I eat 2 meals a day. You need to be eating it too. Why aren't you? You're a fat ass, blah, blah, blah.
So even what I see right now is like a lot of, they'll post, like they'll be commenting on somebody else's reel. And I'm kind of like, guys, like I like the rebuttal. I like the debate. I like the conversational aspect of it. But I'm like, are we not just like kind of shaming all each other? Like a shame circle? Yeah. Of like, this is wrong. I'm right. And it's like, but you're speaking to an audience that already follows you.
Right.
So you're speaking to an echo chamber, hoping that it maybe goes viral. And then it does go viral, but then what? Like, it's just it's a lot.
No, I agree. I've thought about doing that, but I'm like, at the end of the day, even when people give us comments that are not nice, like the last thing I'm going to do is shame that person because my whole message is to not live in shame. Yeah. So I say, that's your perception, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. And you've got to just let people do their thing. Let people, and I've learned this, like, let people continue to do this stuff that's drenched in disorder. Let people, continue to use their body as a calling card. I'm sorry, eventually one day it's going to impact them in some sort of negative way. Yeah. And that's not for me to fucking teach them. That's for them to experience, right? It's kind of like for you. When you were in your shit, your parents wrote you a letter or like, this is a problem. And you're like, no, it's not because you weren't ready to fucking face it. Right. So we want to change it. Yes. Our message is to change this culture. But what we're not going to do is talk shit other than on this podcast to those people, like on their page, on their stuff. What we're going to do is provide a message for where we want to be. There was something in one of my self-help books or something that said, rather than talking shit about a politician that you don't like, why don't you support the politician that you do like? Right. So we had notes for this, but I want to just tell you guys. So the highlight real effects. The platforms predominantly showcase positive moments, omitting struggles, setbacks, leading to unrealistic comparisons, triggering insecurity and perfectionism. A 2021 study reported that 87% of women and 65% of men compared themselves to others on social media, contributing to increased body dissatisfaction and perfectionistic tendencies. Exposure to idealized body images can exacerbate body dissatisfaction. Research indicates that image-based social media platforms are significantly associated with increased symptoms of body dysmorphia among individuals aged 16 through 18. And then shame-driven behavior hindering progress. Continuous comparison can lead to shame, resulting in avoidance behavior rather than proactive, growth-oriented actions. So, gotta clean it up. Gotta really think about what this thing is doing. Even at minimum, I want you to think if it was a drug or a cigarette. How many times are you picking it up?
Ooh, I think it tells you too.
It does.
Your settings.
Well, I think, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Because I've caught myself and I'm like, I don't even fucking do that.
Oh, I've caught myself being like, I literally just let's have this.
Right.
Like, what am I doing?
It's this emotional addiction to
Other
shame.
Yeah.
Or guilt.
Yeah.
It's emotional addiction. Because to think about it, it's not just looking at other people. There's something going on in here that we're addicted to because we keep picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's dopamine. People might say it's dopamine, but dopamine is supposed to make you feel good.
Right.
There's a such thing as emotional addiction to cortisol, to norepinephrine and epinephrine. Could that be it? That I'm so used to living in that chaos and yuck that I pick up my phone and go on social media to feel a bit more yuck because that's what I'm familiar with.
Probably.
I'm sure there's sort of research out there that tells us.
See if she can listen to this going, yeah, I know.
So we've talked about this before. We want to set limits, right? I've talked about, I think it's called ClearSpace, Headspace. That's an app where you can set limits and says like you have to walk a certain amount of steps or do some squats or whatever to go on. Reducing social media usage by 50% for a few weeks has been shown to significantly improve body image perceptions among teens and young adults. It comes from the American Psychological Association. And then, of course, as we've talked about, curating your feed, muting or unfollowing accounts that trigger negative comparisons and create more healthy online environment. Again, everyone that we bring on this podcast, their message, the majority of the time, is similar. Now, if progress photos are triggering to you, then maybe you don't follow someone who's constantly posting progress photos, right? But I don't think posting progress photos, if I know the person, like I'm thinking of certain people, like they're also doing the mindset work and stuff like that. But they're also saying they're not in the trenches with us, so saying no, we're not going to post progress photos as our main source of marketing. They are kind of going with the grain instead of against it. No wrong for that, but if that triggers you, then those are people you need to follow. But again, you can create and curate a online experience that is pleasant. There's a wonderful one-eyed dog named Liberty Hathaway that has amazing photos that you can watch at, what's her thing? Second Chance Liberty.
I don't know.
Dogs, babies, puppies, spooky, scary story time. Don't follow politics. Don't follow, that was another one as I was getting all these political things and I was like, no. Other things.
Sorry.
When we're sharing, okay, I hope you guys are following. We want to have more authentic sharing, okay? And this is for you, posting genuine experiences that foster more of a realistic kind of community. And I think you do that well. And maybe you only do it once a week right now, but that once a week of that authentic, genuine post is more than the fucking person just pumping out content. How much content can you post that is that genuine? Like when I do that series, the one where I did that in one day.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm flowing.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Right. But even that, like when you're looking at these gals, like what are they posting? Maybe they are posting, but what are they posting?
Workouts, nutrition, business, just like them doing shit.
Right. That like Did you learn anything about them
No,
or like their struggles?
no.
I think with you, I think that's why it's harder because it is like a into me you see.
Yeah.
Intimacy. It's intimate post. And that takes a lot more work
Yes.
than
I'm
comment protein on how much protein you need to eat when you're breastfeeding.
Here's 3 hacks for getting more protein in. I have a shake. I have add egg whites.
Yeah. So I think that that's important too.
That's true. That's true. I would say my content is a lot more real because I try, like, if I post stuff on clients, it's like, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not like my clients do this for better results.
Right.
No, this is what happened.
Right.
And her results are still coming.
Mm-hmm. This is a good one. You guys ready for this? Use your platform as a mirror, not a mask. Again, reflecting true experiences encourages others to do so, promoting authenticity. I've said it on here before. I'm going to say it again. Yes, there are beautiful bodies.
Yeah.
That would I love to live in that body if I didn't have to do what it required to be there? Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
But the disingenuous message of standing in your bathing suit, flexing all your muscles in the right lighting with a message that you have healed your relationship with your body is bullshit. It is bullshit. I'm tired of it. And that's where I like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't call them out. I saw it today and I'm like, no, Sonata Greca.
Oh.
You see her, the way she stands.
Yeah, she stands in a very particular way.
Yeah. And she's flexing.
There's a local gal that does that. And she teaches group fitness class at this one business and I fucking hate that she does it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could call that business and be like, you cannot have this girl leading classes.
Right.
And I wish I could message her and be like, I need you to come work with me because what you're doing is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing to mods is fucked up.
Yeah.
And what you're telling yourself is fucked up.
Well, and that's the thing is, what does that say to people? Like, oh, you healed your relationship with food, but
right,
your body is still your business card. That's so distorted.
Right. Well, this gal will work out. She'll post her blog. She'll be 2.5 hours of workout now. And she'll be like, yeah, and I got 10,000. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I agree. And for those listening, you've got to look at, does this message match this
body,
this post, or this body, or this, sometimes I will tell you as a creator, you'll post something that is kind of off to get attention.
Yeah.
Like the one girl that was like, oh, I ate 1,200 calories in a day.
Yeah.
But she was also posing.
Yes.
Right. In her bathing suit or whatever. So I think for you guys to think about it is does this message match the image, or does the message match the message, if you will?
Yeah.
Does everything kind of flow together? Does everything, I talk about, it's usually this part of my body, or I'm playing with the dogs, or doing something like that. Rarely will you see me in a bathing suit. And if you are, it's usually a conversation about my sustainable body versus when I was killing myself. Right. So start questioning it.
Mm-hmm.
Question it. If it doesn't make you feel good, question it. And if you can't figure out why it doesn't make you feel good, still unfollow.
Mm-hmm.
Just realize something's happened on a subconscious level that makes you feel like shit. Unfollow. So what do we do instead? We talked about, curating your own feed, cleaning it up, managing the message, making sure the message matches what you want to feel or what you're getting out of it, and the photos. Then from a mindset perspective, we need to start shifting inward, right? Stop looking to social media and other people to tell you if you're good enough. Take inventory of that each day. Take inventory of how you're 1% better of a person, because that ultimately is going to help you feel proud, feel confident, feel joy, happy, content, we talked about.
Yeah.
And then another thing too, and this is something that I've come back to, is instead of going on social media to find you're happy, look at what you already have. Practice some gratitude, right? Every morning now, I do my 3 things that I'm grateful for. I actually bought a new planner. The Panda Planner is my favorite. It has that in the morning rituals. And there's so much that you can be grateful for. You have a healthy baby who you get to spend this time with. that you are so grateful for? Social media, sure. Do I have an outlet that I can be grateful for to attract people and share my message? Yes. But I'm more grateful for that baby, and I'm going to choose my time wisely because of that baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and that goes back to one of our other points here is prioritize the face-to-face interactions. Mm-hmm. So, like, that is my priority. Now, do I do it better than some days than others? Yes. Like, some days I'm like, okay, what am I really doing here? Some days I'm like, I don't even know where my phone is.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But even like, so one of the things that happened this weekend of like kind of like reframing what this is and what I'm feeling and like how am I going to not like suppress that feeling, because that's another one of our messages. Don't suppress this feeling. Why is that feeling that? Let's work on that. I'd say, because I had gone to like an open house for our local business that opened, and I thought like, oh, I could do this again. Like I could prioritize maybe doing one network thing a month or meeting with one provider a month. And that's because that's once a month is totally reasonable for me right now. And I can bring my baby.
Right.
Right. Whereas like on social media, I can't bring my baby to look at social media with me.
Right.
And it also practices me getting out of the house with her, me getting comfortable, like not being on a rigid schedule with her. Me also figuring out like going and meeting people and getting like, I'm still present, right? They don't see that I'm still present on social media because they could miss my post, even if I was posting. But if I'm present through their emails, through interacting with them, network events, going into their office, then okay, I am still here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more valuable because I always think like, how have we gotten clients of referrals?
Right. I was thinking about that earlier today. Like your networking was huge.
Yes. Like, and that's, I think, like mine, how have I always gotten clients? Networking.
Right.
Like I maybe have gotten a couple. I can't even think of any off the top of my head through social media, but every single person that came to me was like, no, I really liked what you posted, but you know, you just were recommended.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I'd rather be recommended than found.
No,
randomly in a billion people audience.
Right. No, I agree. That's true. I never thought about it that way.
Uh-huh.
Like, or them saying like, I applauded you for a good amount of time, and
I was ready.
And then I was like, okay, I trust this person. No, I think for me, social media has not been a place where we get a lot of our business from. Podcasts, long form, obviously Mind Pop.
Mm-hmm.
Mind Pop has been huge for us. But long form,
yeah,
talking, whether that's in person, on this podcast, on other people's podcast. TikTok, though, it's been interesting lately.
I know that's what when you guys were talking about Thursdays.
Oh, yeah, a lot of views. Yeah, but again, and what I've been doing on what I do on Instagram, where I message everyone like, "Hi, what brought you here?
Yeah,
like, what attracted you? Because I want to know."
That's what I asked. Like, do you mind what brought you to my page? And they go, "Oh, whatever."
Yeah, that's huge. I started doing that on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I have a lot of followers. I have the most followers there. I want to know why they're there.
Yeah.
And one girl's like, this is what I'm struggling with, and like, hey, let's chat about it. Like, we just have a conversation. Like, rarely am I going to be like, sign up for my program, because everyone's doing that. I don't want to be that person. Like, if you want to sign up for my program, and people listening probably like, that's not good business. I don't give a fuck. You want to sign up for my program, you know where to find me.
Well, I get to a point when I'm interacting with somebody else, like, okay, I cannot keep helping you. Not that I don't want to keep helping you on social media going back and forth, but like, I can't help you in the way that you deserve to be helped.
Right.
Without this program. So it is something that you should consider.
Right. Well, I mean, I can say that, like, there's only so much we can do until I can get into your head and do your this and do that. And, there are ways to do that. So anyhow, this was a conversation that kind of just went off in what we wanted it to be. So hopefully you guys followed along. Really, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that, whatever you're consuming in your life is serving you rather than continuing to just make you feel worse. And whether that's food, exercise, TV, spooky, scary story time, and our social media. If you like this information, if you're like, actually, yes, I want help on this. I need help to understand, or I'd like to do what you did with Amanda and really understand why I'm doing the things I do. Check out the show notes below to set up a call with us. You'll have a call with one of us. We're going to talk about what you need, and we're going to connect you with the coach that's best for you, because all of my coaches are mentored by me, and they all have their own specialties in different areas. pre and postpartum, hormones, and health. And that's that. Other than that, make sure you're following, subscribing, reviewing, 5 stars, of course, and posting, sharing our posts, sharing our reels. That helps us. And guess what? That helps. That helps your people see our message rather than all this other bullshit out there.
Yeah.
So keep there's a little envelope square triangle thing. You just hit that, you put it on your story, and boom. So thank you to the people who are doing that. Other than that, we're going to leave you the same way we leave you every episode,
Which is stay in the mind.
you see in the mirror.
Goodbye.